Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel where I do TV show reviews, reality shows usually. I also got some movie reviews coming up soon. But today we're going to be reviewing Selling Sunset Season 3, Episode 3, The Biggest Agent in the Room. And I'm going to, provide a review and a recap of what happened for this episode. So they start off the episode with Davina and her $75 million mansion that refuses to sell. She's back talking to the guy, the owner, and he's basically fed up. He feels like she's the reason why his property is not selling, when we all know the property is listed for way too much money. $75 million for a Hollywood Hills mansion with no view is pretty much unheard of. And so now he's basically trying to blame her for his property not selling, and he's even considering dropping Davina and finding another real estate agent to try to sell this place, which would be horrible for Davina. She hasn't been selling as much, and this is the biggest property that has been listed by the Oppenheim Group, and this is a big deal for her. So for him to even consider dropping her, it's not a good look for Davina at all. He's giving her, I think, 2 weeks to try to sell this place. I don't see it selling in 2 weeks. That's kind of like, that's crazy. I don't see this property selling at all, to be honest with you. He needs to bring his price down, and that's just the bottom line. He needs to bring the price down, and he needs to, get out of his ego and realize that it's not the agents, it's you, and you trying to be greedy. So in the next scene, we are catching up with Chrishell and Mary. They go out to dinner at this really cute restaurant, and basically Mary reveals that she wants kids with Romaine, and she's 40, so she's considering freezing her eggs and going to the doctor to see if she can have a baby at her age on her own, or freeze her eggs for the future. She's trying to figure out her options. And I thought it was cute how Mary, was kind of praising Chrishell's relationship, but it was also kind of bittersweet because we see in the previews for this season, we kind of see what happens with Mary. So it's kind of like we know what's coming with, not with Mary, with Chrishell. And it was kind of awkward because I'm like, oh, like, I kind of know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to spoil it. But I'm pretty sure everybody knows by now anyway. But yeah, so they're catching up, and Mary actually reveals to Chrishell that she actually had she was pregnant with twins before, but she had a miscarriage. And that was, like, shocking. I mean, I can't imagine going through something like that and losing your babies, like that kind of emotional pain is undescribable. Like, I can't imagine it. And I feel like that just shows how close Mary and Chrishell actually are. And this scene really did a good job of showing their friendship, and how close they've gotten since they've been on the show. But yeah, that was kind of sad. But overall, I do like them together. I like them as friends, and it was a really good scene. So the next scene we're at takes place at Christine's house, and they show, Christine's house, and it's fabulous, of course. We're talking about Christine here. Her house is amazing. It's beautiful. And Davina shows up, and I'm expecting like a cute little, scene about whatever, but she's actually there to confront Christine about the fact that she didn't tell her that she showed the house, and it made her look stupid in front of Adnan, the owner of the house, the $75 million house. And so this scene, I kind of get both sides. I definitely feel like Christine could have even texted Davina and said, hey, I'm showing the property really quick to my husband, just letting you know. She could have sent a text, I agree. But I also feel like Davina kind of is blowing it out of proportion. even though it did make her look a little stupid, she I mean, you're asking Christine for help. This is the way Christine works. Christine doesn't seem like the type of person to just, wait on someone else to give her the okay to do something. She doesn't seem like that at all. She's gonna, get it done on her own time, and which is what she did. And at the end of the day, Christine is there to help Davina sell this place. So I agree with both sides. Christine could have texted Davina, and Davina is actually blowing it out of proportion as well. So the next scene takes place back at the Oppenheim group at the office. Basically, Davina and Christine are still, discussing what happened with the showing of the house. And honestly, I feel like what Christine said was true. Christine showed the house while Adnan was there. The owner knew that she was showing the house. And even though it did make Davina look a little stupid for not knowing, I don't think it was that much big of a deal as Davina is making it seem. Maybe that's just me, but I don't see it as that much big of a deal, as long as Christine is actually trying to help you. And then I agree with Christine. What she said in the confessional is like, if you don't want my help, sell it on your own. Like, don't complain if you're the one asking for help. And I agree with that as well. So honestly, I feel like they need to just part ways on this listing, and Christina and Davina just need to be coworkers at this point, because it doesn't seem like this house is just not working out for anyone. Like, this house is just not working out. I feel like I don't see it getting sold. I don't, especially not by Davina at least. So the next scene, they're at a new house listing, and I think it was either Brett or Jason decided to put Heather and Amaza together to get this house sold. Now, from last season, it was pretty clear Heather and Amaza did not get along. Heather doesn't like Amaza because Amaza was late for a very important house showing, which is understandable. I get that. But I think, if I'm correct, Amaza apologized. I'm pretty sure she did. So for Heather to still hold this grudge over Amaza's head about it, it's gonna affect their ability to work together on this project. The house is beautiful. It has like 2 jacuzzis. It has like a whole music recording studio, which is dope. The only thing they have to do is remodel it, stage it, and get buyers to try to sell it, and that's it. And I feel like Heather's gonna make that hard. In her confessional, she's all like, I'm scared to work. Basically, she's scared to work with her, and she fears that Amanda's gonna flake, fall through on important appointments with people, and I just feel like you can't hold that over somebody's head. It's a whole new, it's a whole new year. I believe it's a whole new year. It's been some time since that happened, and you need to move on. Let Amanda prove herself to you before you pass judgment on her. And I also feel like Heather is using that as an excuse as to why she doesn't want to work with Amanda, but it could be because Amanda has confronted Christine multiple times, and Heather does not like that, because you know that Heather and Christine are like best friends or besties, and Heather pretty much sticks up for Christine any chance she gets. So I feel like there's a slight bit of, you going against my friend, so I don't like you type vibe going on here as well. But I feel like Amanda's gonna prove herself, and I believe in Amanda, and I feel like she's gonna get it done. So Heather needs to chill. Okay, so we're back at the office. The first conversation is about their hairy bushes, and I'm just like, really? Can we move on from this topic? Like, don't get me wrong, I know women discuss stuff like that all the time, but coming from them, I'm just like, I can care less how sexy your bush is down there, girl. But besides that, Chriselle brings up an opportunity to basically have an open house for one of her properties, while also showcasing like a charity event. So I think that's pretty cool. Like, Chriselle usually comes up with really good ideas. Like, she's the first one to branch out into the Valley, the Valley real estate sector. Um, somewhere none of the girls would have ever pretty much gone. And now she has this really good idea about combining an open house with a charity event. So I feel like Chriselle is a really good real estate agent overall, and I really feel like she's gonna come for Christine and Mary's spot one day. Okay, so the last scene of this episode involves Brett's home housewarming party. And let me just say, Brett's house is amazing. Of course, like, the view is spectacular. I can't even imagine how much that house mortgage is, or whatever condo mortgage is, but it's beautiful. And so the ladies bring up the fact that Davina's property is still not selling. And basically the scene is just Davina and the girls and Jason discussing about Davina pulling away from trying to sell this place. Jason feels like she's wasting her time. He doesn't want to put any more time, money, anything, effort into this property. He strongly feels like it's not going to sell. Davina feels like she could sell it if she has more time. And what's really interesting is that Davina has her own brokerage license, I guess. So she can technically start her own, company without him. But she feels like she has loyalty to this company because they're all a family, they're all friends, yada, yada, yada. My thoughts on that, I feel like if you feel like you need to leave, you should leave. Don't place loyalty for a company over your own needs. And I feel like that's what she's doing. She needs to stand tall on what her opinion is about this place. And I don't know. I feel like Davina might actually, end up leaving the show. I see it for her. Jason is like, no, we're canceling it. I don't want you to work on it anymore. Sometimes I have to make decisions for the best of my clients, for my staff, even if they can't see it. He basically feels like he is the deciding factor on whether or not they need to continue with trying to sell some properties, and Davina feels like she just needs more time. And I see both sides. I do. I honestly feel like this property may not be for Davina. I'm pretty sure it can get sold, but it needs to be at a lower price. And maybe Davina is not the right person to try to sell it. It's not looking like she is going to sell it. Maybe she doesn't have the right connections. Maybe she doesn't know the right people. It could be a whole lot of reasons why this property is not selling. So, but one of the reasons is the price. And so Jason basically tells her, no, you were pulling out. And Davina gets up, she walks out, and she leaves. And they zone in on her all dramatically walking away and stuff. And I don't know, maybe this is a setup for her actually leaving the show eventually. What other things happen in this scene? Mary finally is gonna tell Romaine about, her fertility and how she wants to have a family. And he's happy that she told him, so that's good. And then other than that, yeah, Davina, it's not looking good for her with this place, and it's not looking good for her at the Oppenheim group for too much longer. But we will see. Maybe she will stay. Maybe she might go. Who knows? But that was basically the end of season 3, episode 3 of Selling Sunset. Catch me for my review for episode 4.